I'm iCave Dave, and in today's Apple Daily, the iPhone 12 range costs up to 26% more to produce than the iPhone 11 range. March iMac focused event on March 26th. And Ming Chi Kuo says 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros to arrive late Q2, early Q3, maybe at WWDC.
For the latest Apple news, rumors, and leaks, every weekday at 12 UTC. Join us in the iCave.
Thanks Siri, and today is the first day that Apple says I could be getting my Mac Mini M1, though apparently it hasn't shipped yet, but the status has moved to ready to ship. Exciting times, very soon, and it should be here by the 15th, so stay tuned, and if there's anything you want me to test, games will come, let me know. Use hashtag iCaveAnswers if you've got any special questions. And of course, if you like a bit of the old Apple news, especially from a middle-aged British guy, then a like to the video and a sub for the channel would be amazing. And if you don't want to miss a thing, and let's be honest, who wants to miss out, ring the bell and post hashtag notification squad below in the comments, and you'll get props in my next one. iPhone 12 range costs up to 26% more to produce than the iPhone 11 range. According to a report from Counterpoint via Patently Apple, the iPhone 12's bill of materials has increased quite a bit over the iPhone 11. And the cost increases are actually spread over more areas of the phone than you might realise. The big news on iPhone 12 when it was a pre-release was that the 5G contributed a lot to the cost of the device, and based on this report, the 5G antennas and modem cost $34 more than the previous year, though the US-only millimeter wave variant cost $27 more than the international version. The switch to OLED across the range is adding $23 per unit over the 11's LCD panels too, which brought more dynamic range and peak brightness to the iPhone 12 devices. Costs will likely drop slightly through the production runs as everything settles in, and in the coming years these existing lines for the designs will be used even more. The current form factor and display sizes are expected to remain for at least a year, most likely through 2022, though LTPO displays with variable refresh rates are expected in the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max this year, with these panels reaching all of the iPhones by 2022. We're also expecting to see LiDAR rolled out across the range in 2021. March iMac focused event. Reports have appeared that Apple will hold an event introducing iMacs, AirTags and Mini LED iPad Pro at a March 23 event, which would presumably take another digital format at this stage. This comes via a tweet from Apple Times. The latest tweet mentions iMac Air and iMac Pro models, introducing a regular-sized HomePod with an updated Apple A10 chip, but points out that the source is new and not yet verified. That being said, I do find the idea of iMac Air and iMac Pro names being the product lines an interesting one, and I think this could just be the names for the two sizes, but it would potentially suggest different design language and processor power. At least that's what you would expect, though the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro right now have identical silicon inside with other features dictating the separation, like the design, touch bar and display brightness. I do have a couple of concerns with this source. The additional tweet from the poster mentions AirPods Studio. This was an older tweet from November, which we obviously know now is the AirPods Max on their March list too, and there's no mention of the 9th gen iPad Air that we've also heard about potentially coming in with A13 chips. Right now, the original HomePod runs on the A8 SoC, which is pretty old, but I would have thought something closer to the S5 in the HomePod Mini would have been more likely, or even the H1 found in the new AirPods Max. Ming Chi Kuo says 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros to arrive by late Q2 or early Q3, which suggests around WWDC. Now, this is a much less happy rumour, as I was pretty much convinced we'd see a 16-inch MacBook Pro with M1X in March, especially as a Bloomberg report said before the first Apple Silicon Macs arrived that a 16-inch version was already in production, I believe by Quanta Computers. That said, the delay could be to do with the Mini LED panels, which would feature around 10,000 local dimming zones with individual LEDs lighting screen areas rather than a full LED backlight where the whole display is lit with the LCD blocking the light where it needs to. Beyond these new displays, Apple is expected, as with the iMac range, to include a new design language more in line with the iPad Pro, including rounded display corners, smaller bezels and flat slab sides. Hopefully this would also allow deeper camera sensors, possibly Face ID, and more to be added to these new MacBooks. Of course, the biggest change, regardless of how these MacBooks look, will be the addition of M1X, the presumed name of the SoC, so if the report is true and they won't be released until WWDC in June, then they should still be well worth the wait. So, thank you for watching as always, and if you want me to answer any of your Apple questions, please ask in the comments using hashtag iCaveAnswers, and I'll answer them for you in a future video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.